Welcome, everybody, to the Bodds podcast. Very special edition. We are going to be talking about a tradition unlike any other today, the Masters. This is the Masters episode today. We are doing actually two podcasts this week. We got a baseball one with Punisher picks, with Odds Fellow. But joining me today, I am Guns Picks. To my right, if you're watching at home, lockbets.net. What's going on, my friend? How you feeling? How you doing?
Dude, what's up, brother? I mean, does it get much better than this other than losing last night with our Kansas collab play? I was just about to say, I mean, we got Masters, we got MLB starting this weekend. What better way to start the week would have been Kansas cooking, Kansas cashing on the collab, but doesn't get home. No worries. I mean, I'm fucking pumped, man. I'm ready to go for the Masters, and I'm ready for this show. We have two fucking phenomenal guests.
Yeah, we do.
So what do you think, Guns?
Yeah, we got Brian Kirschner coming in. We have Jeff coming back for a second time. And by the way, he gave an outright winner last time he was on the show. So I think the show might be giving him a little bit of good luck. He's coming back. So it's going to be an electric show all the way. I want to kind of delve into very quickly the culmination, the end of college basketball. I'm talking about Kansas. I'm talking about UNC. Unbelievable game. I considered Kansas dead after the first half, down 15. We took the first half as a collab. I think we are together. We are mushes. Separate. We can just do our thing and get hot. I don't know what it is. Maybe we just got to stay away from championship games and just start it off from March Madness on. I don't know. What do you think of the game?
I just like complete clusterfuck of a first half. I mean, Kansas literally looked like a subpar NIT team. I mean, they were missing their layups. They weren't hitting anything from three. And of course, being on the wrong side of that bet, it hurt. But tip your cap to Kansas. UNC's got to put the fucking gas pedal on. When you're up 16, you don't play like you're up 16. When you're up 16, you should be playing like you're down 16. And I think they were playing way too conservative. And every time Kansas scored, UNC had nothing to offer. But I'm done. Listen, I'm fucking done with basketball. I don't want to talk about it no more. All right. It's a fucking touchy subject. All right.
I think it was a tough year for all like sharps. I'm part of a bunch of groups here, and you talk to these guys, and it was just it was a rough year all around. But they did UNC did the same thing with Baylor. Is like they got these big leads up on Baylor, and it comes down to the coaching at that point, and you got to coach your guys to kind of keep the gas pedal on, stay aggressive. They put the press on. Kansas can get back into a game, and that's what they did. So congratulations, Kansas. You won. I hit my under. I wish you didn't step on the sideline so I could get 2 more free throws so you can give me 5 instead of
well, beggars can't be choosers, Guns. You didn't deserve it. You haven't done enough good deeds in your life for that.
Listen, I've moved on, and I'm ready to just talk about Masters right now. I want to get the guests in, but let's do an ad read real quick to pay the sponsors off. So
all the sponsors.
Here's the sponsor, sponsored by Viva Tequila Seltzers.
This podcast is sponsored by Viva Tequila Seltzers.
That's right. This podcast is sponsored by Viva Tequila Seltzers. Viva Tequila is a refreshing and drinkable hard seltzer, 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and 4.5 ABV. Viva is the perfect drink for your master celebrations, as it created for the active life in mind. Viva, flavored with their tequila seltzers, because flavor is the spice of life, and they like their drinks with a little bit of a kick, just like we like to live our lives. Viva flavors perfectly with their artisanal Blanco tequila or our subtle amber drinks. They believe to live long, live well, and live it up. Hashtag Viva, and go check them out on Twitter at Viva Seltzers. Great product. I I can't wait to get some more because they go very fast in this household.
Yes.
And I know you guys keep begging me, where are they? Where are they? So,
well, I was going to say the one thing that I can talk about our sponsor is the tequila seltzers. After I come home, after playing 18 holes, after going to the bar, and I see the 6-pack that you sent me as our promotion, I tend to drink all 6 at the same time, but that's neither here nor there.
And he also does a little bit of a TikTok that he doesn't remember in the morning, but
yeah, I delete those TikToks. Those are called regret. Okay.
But you know what? I am hearing a knock at the door, so let's get the boys into the room.
Oh, you know that sound. That means the dads have a special guest ready to join the show. Let's tune in and see who it could be.
So we got a 2-pack of guests. Like I said before, I want to introduce them properly. We have the host of Tap In Birdie podcast, which you can find every Tuesday, which is tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern time. His Twitter handle is @Brian Kirschner _. I saw who the Brian Kirschner was. He has 3 followers. I hope that's not his dad. God forbid. But he's from Long Island, New York. Please welcome to the podcast, Brian Kirschner. Welcome to the Dad Bodds podcast.
I have to say the production value on this podcast is through the roof. The ad reads, the introduction, the intro, it's all unbelievable. And I'm happy to be joining the boys tonight over a couple beers. That's talking right. The Masters.
That's right. So Brian's in the room.
I am happy we got Brian on here.
Yeah.
I think he felt guilty that I asked him 6 months ago. So we got him. That's important.
I tell you what, I've seen the podcast. It's absolutely electric. You've had some great guests on the show too. Lockbets is an absolute fan. He's been telling us a lot about you. Glad to have you on for the Masters podcast. But I want to get our special guest for the second time. Absolutely great. I think he's picked 7 outright winners in this year's PGA Tour season.
Guns. Nobody counts those stats.
It doesn't matter. It's all about getting to the next one. Let's welcome on Twitter @JeffMCG88. Please welcome back to the Dad Bodds podcast, Jeff. What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Hey guys, how are you? I'm doing well. Thanks for having me back.
Well, it's Masters week. How's everything been overall? I'm getting prepared for this tournament. The course, the weather. What are you seeing? I'll start with you, Jeff. What are you seeing as far as the conditions are concerned going into Thursday?
They've taken on quite a bit of rain the past, week or two. So, and they're going to get dumped on again tomorrow afternoon, it looks like, too. So it's going to be interesting. They lengthened a couple holes, which is going to make the course play longer. And with these conditions, it's going to play even longer than that, because the ball is just not going to run out as much in the fairway with that. So it'll be interesting to see how some of these guys adapt to it. Obviously, if you're a big hitter, it's going to favor you more than the shorter hitters. So we'll see how it goes with the wind conditions Thursday and Friday afternoon as well, which it looks like it's going to pick up in the afternoon both days.
Gosh, that was the best cookie cutter answer to start off the podcast in golf podcast history. I don't know. I mean, I may not watch enough, but you were just ready to spit fire. I mean, where's our manners? I brought a beautiful little thing. I mean,
it's only a Brian
Kirschner podcast without a Heineken.
It's only a little bit better than a Bud Light. So I'm proud that you have acquired some taste tonight and you are drinking an actual delicious beer like a Heineken and not a Bud Light, because those are gross.
Wow. Yeah, I got the DM from Brian saying the Bud Lights were it disgusted him, I think were the words. And I thought it was just kind of like a play on words, like, hey, just, fucking with me. But no, he's true. He fucking brings the heat, and I bring the heat too.
Isn't it delicious?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Very good.
I mean,
yeah, I think he's lying to you though. I just saw that little bitter face that he put. He made. He wants the Bud lattes. I can tell.
Listen, it's a good option. All right.
I guess. You know, I'll ask Brian this one. He's like, you're coming into this tournament. Some guys, this is the first time they're actually betting golf. Like they haven't bet anything from the earlier seasons. They're mostly, you know, casual bettors into the major. What are the things to look for as far as picking the right golfer for either a future or a matchup? What are the things to look for a golfer into this particular course?
You know, I think that's a great question. And, you know, I've kind of been saying it a lot is that the Masters and these majors, that's when a lot of these casual bettors come in and they want these Masters locks and they want to get in on the action. And I firmly believe that golf is the best and most profitable sport to bet on. So anything that, you know, kind of brings them into the space, I'm all for. And, you know, I'm really glad it's going to be probably the most bet on Masters ever. My advice to everybody would to take two top guns under 25-1 outright. You really can't go wrong no matter which two you choose. I think there's a very high likelihood that one of them will be in contention all Sunday, and that's really what you're looking for. In terms of actual qualities of golfers, I'm definitely looking for in-form iron players that have played well at Augusta in the past and have proven that they can contend on this course. Augusta National has some of the most undulating, challenging greens of any courses that they play on the PGA Tour. So that's where experience is very important. And I think that guys that have great short games and great putting ability are going to be a very important to play this week. And then another thing that I like to reiterate is that it's always important to some of the, like, not absolute favorites, but if you're betting a guy 40-1, bet him top 20, bet him top 10, because it's so hard to hit an outright. Obviously, Jeff does it every week, so it's not really that hard for him. But it's just very tough to hit an outright. So it's a lot easier to just predict that they're going to play well this week. And that's why it's great to have a little bit of an insurance on a top 10 or top 20. And I know Jeff is following suit, and I know he has some top 10 and top 20 plays this week, because that's what I found is some of the most profitable ways to bet golf.
I love that. I think that's good advice too, Brian. And all these apps, I mean, you know, you got DraftKings, MGM, you got a new app each day popping up, and these poor amateur bettors are getting these offers left and right. And you really should go into these tournaments with a game plan. You know, like at the very least, just take down a few notes what Brian and Jeff say, and then, you know, map out your weekend. And I probably would also add, let's not throw all our hens into, you know, one hatch, as they say. Some people say it, not many, but some people do. Let's not throw all our eggs in one basket. You know, don't waste all your money on first round leader.
Yep.
Because now you're all out of bullets, right? So on a very smaller macro level, I would just say take it easy, and you got plenty of opportunity to live bet. I mean, you could literally live bet at any point from Thursday morning until Sunday at 6:00. So save some bullets, right?
Jeff, you agree with that, or you have any other thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I agree with everything Brian just said. Obviously, we do this every week, so it's stuff we've just come accustomed to. And you know what you just touched on right there. If you're going to take a couple guys and you want to save some live bullets, try to do it at the right time and find value. There's nothing worse than waiting till Sunday and then you're betting somebody at 2-1, or even if it's a favorite at minus money. Like, I mean, that's just horrible odds and value depending on the situation. And I would strongly suggest doing something live maybe Friday or Saturday versus waiting till Sunday when you're going to get the worst value on that person.
Interesting. You know, I started getting into like, so all day today is like, I started like, you know, I'm a statistics guy. I'm a box score guy. If I see numbers and I understand the game enough, I can pretty much kind of mosey my way into sounding like I know what I'm talking about. One of the statistics that I found on here, especially going into the Masters that I've been, from all the articles that I'm reading, how important is it with looking at guys that are highly ranked at birdie or better, par 4, par 5, especially on a course like Augusta?
No, I think it's always going to be very important because at an event like this, the winning score, I don't see it going lower than 12-1, I would say, or 13-1, given the conditions. So I think that being able to capitalize on the holes that you don't make par on, and be able to capitalize on birdies on these par 5s and these par 4s is going to be very important this week. And then another stat that I think is very great to look at, and it's kind of the flip side of it, would be bogey avoidance, because I mean, obviously, you don't want to make bogeys on the PGA Tour, but guys that are able to scramble for par and, don't make a lot of bogeys and, can just kind of grind it out and shoot a bunch of rounds of -2, you're going to be in a spot to win on Sunday. But there's a lot of guys on tour that, might have a lot of blow-up holes, and they might make a lot of bogeys, but they might cancel it out with a lot of birdies. I would really focus on guys that, do not have a lot of blow-up holes and can, make par when they need to, when they're in a little bit of trouble.
Jeff,
Awesome
what do you think
stuff.
about that, bro?
What's that?
What do you think about that, Jeff?
No, that's great. You obviously want to be able to, get up and down and say par around the green, especially here at Augusta. If you happen to miss greens here, it's not easy, because these greens are difficult and people have a tough time reading them. They've never been allowed to have green books here. Obviously, if you played it enough, you get to know the course and have a slighter edge than, some of the newcomers on tour who haven't seen it as often. So you want to take advantage of the par 5s here, because like Brian mentioned, the score probably won't get above, -12 or -13. So you got to make your birdies on these par 5s and just kind of manage your way around the course the rest of the way. They have a couple par 4s that are playing like around 495 to 505, which is just tough in its own right. And if you hit a bad tee shot or a bad approach shot off that, I mean, you're just asking for trouble moving forward. And that's why it's huge to take advantage of these par 5s.
So you said about 500 for one of the par 4s?
Yeah, they lengthened.
So if I'm Brian's caddy, we're playing 500. I'm taking out that hybrid. We're going hybrid, one putt all day. Right?
No, this is what we're doing. We're going driver, wedge, 2-putt bogey. I'm not hitting the green 200.
What's wrong with your putter, Brian? We need to know what's wrong with your putter.
Oh, he got roasted.
Well, I had a user submitted question, actually. I was getting to that. So, Brian, this one was actually for you. Since historically at Augusta, there are a lot of players that have won in years past that haven't been great putters, such as Hideki. Brian, do you think if you were on the PGA Tour, this would be one of your favorite spots because it wouldn't require you to go low with your flat stick?
I think I could absolutely dominate Augusta National. Look, if I was playing it from like 6,000 yards, I would legitimately dominate this place, full stop. I like fast greens. I like a lot of, undulation. I like a tough short game. So I think I could absolutely go low at Augusta National. And if I was handicapping myself, this would be the spot I would mark on my calendar that, I think I could win and get that green jacket at.
Wow.
What a presentation.
Would you be cocky enough to just go in there and just give him your jacket size right off before you even start round one? Is that how it's going to go?
I think that's what I would do. I would, go up to whoever the commish was and said, I'm like I don't know jacket sizes off the top of my head, but whatever I am, I would just to keep it in your mind, because that's the size you'll need at the end of the week. And the guys that Jeff and I bet, one of them will be giving their jacket sizes 100%. I mean, it has to. We have to pick a winner between the two of us.
Two of the sharpest around.
I'm going to take a guess on your jacket size. I'm going to say either a 42 or 44 long. That's pretty much where you're going to want to go with that one. But
I'm down. I'm down for that.
So getting into I guess you kind of reiterated a couple of the questions, like when you're picking a winner, and Brian already said it, and I guess I'll pass this question to Jeff here. I was like, so if you're very strong about a guy that you think is going to win the tournament, do you automatically just put that guy in the top 10, top 20, top 40, and just keep betting him all the way down, even into the matchups, into the first round?
So I think, there, and I've heard Brian say this before, and it's true. There's nothing worse than having a guy outright, and for whatever reason he finishes, second or third, and you have no money on him. If you can tag him with a top 10, or you're getting good value at a top 20, if he's a little bit of a longer shot, I would go ahead and suggest doing that. Now, I'm saying this, and I don't necessarily do that every week, but you really should, especially if you're getting into this, because I've been there before where I have a guy finish T2 or third solo, and I literally get paid the same amount of money as the guy that didn't even make the cut, because, of course, he didn't win, and then I'm in the same boat with anybody else that didn't win. So moving forward, that's something I'm going to try to incorporate and be better at. I did a couple this week, and that's kind of the approach I would take on that.
Yeah, it's kind of all or nothing, kind of. It's either you're going to have a decent week where maybe you hit a great week where you hit an outright, and then you hit their top 10, and then you hit their top 20, and it's really great. Or you could have a week where, what happens? You just have no guys in contention, and then it's like, okay, well, I just lost even more money on that. But my thing is that you never want to lay juice in golf. So this week, me and Jeff are high on a couple favorites this week, and their top 20 odds might be, minus 150, minus 160. And I don't recommend anybody bet that. And I know that it's not really true, but in other sports, like, a minus 200 favorite in an NBA game, they'll win a lot. But just because I'm like, it's true for some of anyone over like 25, 30 to 1, then I would put a top 10 and a top 20 on them. But favorites betting, it's tough. It's really tough because their top 10 odds are probably plus 150, and you have to front a lot. So I really recommend betting a top 20 if you can get over 130 odds, and that's where I really like to target my top 20 bets during the week.
I think Lock Bets has a question, so I'll pass it on to him.
I have a question, guys. All our viewers right now, I think we have about 3,500 if I look at the counter. They're wondering what we want to bet on. But before we get there, I brought you two sharp heads together to bring some winners. But we got to sound the F off on Mr. Tiger Woods. Is he a FootJoy shoe guy? Is he going to make this cut? People are telling me that it's free money out there, that he's not going to make it. He's not going to tee it up all 4 rounds. Brian, I'm going to give you the floor first, but I need to hear some juice, bro.
So I'm not it's like a joke, with my friends that I'm a Tiger hater just because I've said some things one time, and it's completely erroneous. It's erroneous on both counts. I went into the week probably leaning more 2 weeks ago. If you asked me, Tiger Woods, you got to play the Masters, I would probably be I'd probably fade him in a couple matchups. I would probably bet him to miss the cut. I would not play him at all. I've done a 180 of sorts. I have 150 on him to make the cut. He looks so good. All the reports from Augusta is that he's striping the ball. His short game is excellent. And, no one knows this place better than Tiger Woods. It's a small field. A lot of people aren't even in it. I think he can make the cut. I wouldn't bet him to win. I wouldn't bet him top 10. I wouldn't bet him top 20. But to make the cut at plus 120, I don't see a world in which he doesn't make the cut.
So first play on the podcast, we're going Brian to make the cut plus 120. Hey, it's not the mortgage play. It's not the mortgage play. Don't worry.
He's only missed the cut once, right? He's only missed the cut once, right?
I will say this before I give you to Jeff. Why would this man tie those laces up on Thursday? Why would he say he's going to do this if he truly in his heart doesn't believe he can go out there and win? Jeff, it's your turn. Let's hear it, brother.
Well, the thing is, and Brian mentioned what he thought a few weeks ago. I honestly didn't think he was going to tee it up here. I thought we would see him at St. Andrews for the Open, and I'm kind of surprised that he's. The reports sound great, and I know when he was coming back from the injury, a lot of what he practiced was just his short game. He wasn't hitting long irons. He wasn't hitting the driver just because of the shape he was in. So that's what he spent most of his time practicing on, and you need that here to be able to, put a decent round together. So I'm not going to have any action on him. I think he very well can make the cut, and if you're getting plus money on that, I would rather go that route than lay juice saying miss the cut. So I'm going to sit this one on the sidelines. I don't have any action on him. I'm not playing him in any DFS, and I'm cheering for the guy. He's my favorite golfer of all time, but I'm just going to sit this one on the sidelines. And if he does well, great. If not, I won't have anything on it.
Jeff, I love that take. I love the short game take.
Yeah.
Boom. I love that take. That's an amazing take.
And he said that. He said that coming out when they were asking him when he was going to play. He goes, well, right now I'm just practicing my short game. I can't really do much other than that and working around the green. So, that checks boxes here this week.
I can honestly say personally myself, once I saw that line out and I got it at -110, I said he's not going to make the cut, and I just took it.
Basically, you couldn't even wait.
No, I couldn't wait because I am very. This is a Tiger take. When the media completely goes gushing for Tiger, I'd rather take the dirt road, the shortcut, than take the paved road where everybody else is going. That's kind of the way I'm going. Maybe I'm being a little bit of a contrarian on this one. Everybody wants to see Tiger's success. He hasn't played any major tournaments since his accident. I don't know his health situation. Can he do 4 rounds? I don't know. I'm betting on the fact that he's going to have some issues early on. He may be able to straighten those things out once he gets to the next major if he keeps continuing to play. But
guys, you're doing exactly what
I don't think Red is going to come out on Sunday, and I'm going to be taking not making the cut. That's
you know what? Historically, betting against Tiger Woods is a losing proposition, my friend.
Fair point.
I will not allow it, and I'm not going to do it. I'm with Brian. I'm going to toss some cash on +120 right now. But before I do that, I do have a question.
Line's moving in different directions. It's -130 right now. Just want to say that.
To make it or miss it.
I got a local if you want.
Okay. You got a guy? Guys, gambling, golf Twitter can get pretty funny. But for you guys, probably a little toxic at times. What are some players you're seeing that are getting repeated through the woodworks on your timelines every day that you would disagree with the most? Are you seeing a chalky kind of player being posted frequently that you're absolutely not?
For Brian, the Masters specifically this week?
Yeah.
I was on my pod before, and Andy just straight up, he's like, who is not going to win? And I just said Rory. So I'm going to say Rory. I know Jeff bet him, and I don't think he is super hot about it.
No, he redacted it.
A hill I'm willing to.
You took it back though, right, Jeff?
Well, no, I'm stuck with it. I'm just not very strong on it. I bet it in November, and I'm stuck with it. I can't cash it out, but I did watch Brian's show earlier, and Andy has just completely relieved me, and I feel a lot better about it right now because he had a strong take with Roy on why he thinks he's going to have success this week, or be better than what we think. Because me personally, I'm like, man, his form's not there right now. He just seems a little lost, and it was a bad bet. But we'll see how it turns out.
No, sorry, Brian. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to clear things up.
You didn't interrupt anything, bro. Nothing at all. Look, that's why I wasn't really comfortable with the question. It's because there's really a case to be made for any of these elite guys. And one of the first things I said on this podcast was that just pick 2 elite guys. And you can't really go wrong either way unless maybe like you bet like Kyle Morikawa and Victor Hovland, like maybe those wouldn't be the best, but like anyone else, like, I mean, you probably have a shot going into Sunday. And, these guys are so good. And, usually favorites win the Masters, and I don't see it going any other way this week. So it's really hard to give a compelling case against anybody because they're so talented.
One question I have is like, all the casual bet, like you see a lot of abundance of money of people betting the Masters. Is it better to bet on majors in cash, or do you go for the smaller tournaments and that's where the money's really made? Is that the strategy of like, I mean, from your experience, is that how it's gone?
Well,
I'll start with Jeff.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, so you got to understand for some of these tournaments, there's different size fields, which changes the odds. So for instance, this week isn't a great example because there's like, I think 90, maybe 91 players. I don't know exactly, but it's around there that are in the field. And a lot of those are past champions that stand absolutely no chance of competing here this week. And there's 6 amateurs. I mean, there's probably, I don't know, 65 to 70 guys that actually play on the PGA Tour on a consistent basis that are in this week. So these books have adjusted odds in this field versus what they'll have in a regular event when their field is twice as much, if not a little bit more than that. So I personally like, some of the larger fields where they have to spread these odds out and you can move down the board a little bit. And this is why, and Brian and I have talked about this before, why golf's the best sport to bet on. 50, 60, 71 odds consistently hit, on a, I don't know, 50%, maybe a little bit less than that basis, where like, imagine trying to hit one of those in a future for another sport. It just rarely happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Jeff is completely right there. And that's why I believe, golf is the best sport to bet on. And just to go in a recent example of Kansas, they were 18-1 about to win the NCAA tournament in the year. My cousin bet them early, like last May. So you're hitting an 18-1 bet and you have to legitimately wait on it for 10 months. And it's just a lot harder to hit, and those odds aren't that great. Now, granted, if Jeff and I could, just bet the guy who's going to win every week at 50-1 odds, like, yeah, that'd be great. Obviously, it's very hard to do, but people do it every single week, and you just don't have those opportunities in other sports. The question as to whether, like, majors or regular events are easier to profit on, I would lean to say that majors are a little bit easier to wager on. And the reason for it is that there's just less variance and less randomness in it. And a lot of these elite guys that perform well in majors always seem to show up. Like an example would be like last year, Brooks Koepka and Louis Oosthuizen at the majors. Like they were just so good at the PGA, US Open, and Open Championship. And there's people that have solidified themselves as good major players. So, there's no such thing as a sure thing in betting, but there's certain guys that, they seem to be a sure thing in majors, and the difficult conditions brings a lot less people into the mix. So I think majors are a great way to, kind of get into golf gambling. And in my opinion, it's a little bit easier to handicap and be profitable on.
Lock bets. Next question.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Go for it.
All right, this one's for Brian. We're gonna just a personal question real quick. So this question is from Max, and he said, "Hey Brian, it's your buddy Max here. I just was wondering, where would you ever want to meet me for the first time? And do you think I still am elite?" It was from Max H.
Max Homa?
Oh,
my
yeah,
boy.
Max Homa.
Look, Max Homa and I are boys, straight up. like legitimately like boys.
Where's
like
your picture perfect like first meetup? Like, are you guys gonna go to a bar? Are you guys gonna go play golf? What are you guys gonna do?
Like I'm down to like rip 18. Like maybe he gives me 2 strokes a hole. I beat him on 18, and then we just like slam a couple beers and get some food or something. I feel like that would be pretty chill vibes. And it would have to be like in Cali, like in his area, like just vibe out with my boy Max Elma.
I love that. Okay, so that was only for the user submitted. All right, guys, let's talk about 2 guys each at least that we're keying in on. It's at that time in the show where people are probably getting a little antsy. What are we like? Just give us a little bit of your card if you can. I mean, just share some thoughts, some wisdom. Anything helps.
Jeff, go first.
So a lot of my bets I placed in the past, 6, 7, 8 months. Now, I don't feel as confident about some of them. I do. I got a number on Colin Morikawa last July, 30-1. I loved it then. I just like it now. I think the weather may hurt him on the way he plays golf here. We'll see how that goes, but I'm riding that out. And I think, and what worries me is everybody and their mothers on Brooks Koepka this week. I bet it in November. He hasn't been playing well until recently. He showed up at the match play and played pretty well. He got through his group and was playing well versus DJ, who, very well could win this week as well, and kind of fell apart there the last few holes and gave it away. So out of the ones I got Koepka 19-1, Morikawa 30-1. Those are the 2 I'm kind of riding with. There are some other guys that I would rather probably take, and Brian's got a great number on Cam Smith that I wish I had. I might try to find a way to steal that from his local if I can get into his account somehow.
No, it's great. And like, okay, I know Jeff came on here and gave you Cam Smith at the Players, but like realistically, like I can give you 2 absolute mortgage play locks that aren't 30-1.
We love mortgage plays.
Look, I have 2 mortgage plays this week. I will be wagering a lot of money on them. As you guys know, I pay my mortgage. I have my own house. I don't live with my parents. I'm not currently in my parents' basement right now. But my 2 mortgage plays. So if you're listening to this and you don't bet golf, but you want to throw a unit or 2 around, my absolute mortgage play this week is Will Zalatoris top 20. Second place finish here last year. Will Zalatoris is one of the best ball strikers on tour, and what holds him back sometimes is his putter. Well, guess what? He putted really well at this event last year on these greens. So, I'm going to play Will Zalatoris at a spot that he's shown he can putt well out every day of the week because his ball striking is just so fantastic. And then another reason I like him, like Jeff talked to before, is that it's going to play long. He is one of the best long iron players in the field. He's very long off the tee. So I really like that aspect of it. And then my other top 20 mortgage play, mortal lock is Shane Lowry, top 20. He's playing some absolutely unbelievable golf at the moment. Second at Honda, and then 2 top 15 finishes at the Players and the Valspar. There's a trend where, golfers that have only gained, X amount of strokes tee to green in their past few months have only won the Masters. He fits that box. He's one of the most in-form iron players on tour. So those are 2 guys that I don't necessarily think are going to win, but I really think that and I also have outrights on him. I'm betting both of them outright, but I also think a way safer way to make money this week would be a top 20 on both of those golfers.
And I actually have Zalatoris as well. I think Brian got a better number on me on that, so good for him on that. Another one I would look at is top amateurs. There's only 6 amateurs in this field, and there's a guy from Japan. Last name's Nakajima. You're not going to get great value, maybe plus 140, plus 150, but he's only got to beat 5 other guys. He's played 2 PGA Tour starts already. He's made the cut in both events, and one of them he finished tied for 26th. So I think that is an absolute lock as well.
And Jeff, I apologize for limiting your
no, you're
card,
fine.
but let's just hear. I mean, we're not on a time crunch.
We're not on a time crunch tonight.
We don't
We're
got
letting
the
this thing
director
roll. This is
giving
the
us the
Masters
time, you know.
episode. Let's go.
Jeff, tell us your card that you want to share.
Well, I'll just run down some first round leader bets. Cam Smith 22-1, Xander Schauffele 31-1, Zalatoris, who me and Brian are both big on, 37-1, and then top 10s, Cam Smith plus 150, Schauffele plus 210. I mentioned Zalatoris for top 20. I'm also taking a shot at Adam Scott at plus 190. I think you can get almost 2-1 now on your money, if not better. He's been putting very well of late, and we've talked about needing to be able to make putts on these greens, and he's played this event enough times to know this course like the back of his hand. So that's what I got, and we'll see how it turns out this week.
Ryan, I limited you to 2 mortgage plays. Are you good with those mortgage plays? Or
So those are my mortgage plays. Like that's like the play. Like when my boss asks me, like, what am I betting on for the Masters? I'm like, literally put next month's rent on these 2 plays. So if though they will hit, but my outright card this week. So I'm betting JT at 14-1. Very popular play. A lot of people are on him. It makes a lot of sense. He's the best player on tour without a win this season. He has Bones, who's won multiple green jackets with Phil Mickelson on the bag, and he has great course history at Augusta. So, and he fits almost every single trend you could look at. And then my second pick, I don't know how Jeff feels about this, but I got a 26-1 on Jordan Spieth. You can get a 22-1 that's readily available. I suggest betting that. Look, he's just been too good at Augusta to only have 1 green jacket. And, you know, he gained like 6 strokes on approach last week, and he didn't putt well. But Jordan Spieth always putts well at Augusta. And if it was the other way around and he didn't hit the ball, oh, no.
We lost him on camera.
1 sec.
Well,
he's coming back. We got him. He's there.
Oh, we got him. Okay.
Yeah, he's coming back.
My bad. But if it was the other way around and he didn't hit the ball well and he just putted well, I would think a little bit differently of him. But I think a 22-1 is good value on him. And then Will Zalatoris, like I talked about, I like him to win. I don't think he will win. Top 20 mortgage play. Shane Lowry, top 20 mortgage play. I have him outright. I don't think he'll win, but those are who I'm rocking with outright. So I'm hoping, you know, you could clip one of those and post it like you did with Jeff at the Players.
That's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for, you know?
Yeah.
So
I will say I made this makes me feel good. I made 1 Masters bet, and it wasn't as far back as Jeff, who bets his Masters picks 2 years in advance. But I bet this on May 29th. Okay. I put $125 on Shane Lowry to win outright.
What were the odds then?
It was 50 plus 5,500. Okay. So a little bit better than now. It was DraftKings. I could have probably gotten FanDuel or MGM, a much better number. But I don't know what I was doing that day. I must have been on Twitter. Maybe I saw Brian. Somebody said Shane Lowry.
Wait, what was the date?
It was March 29th.
Oh, so it was recently.
Yeah, so it was like last week.
Yeah, he was playing really well.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I didn't know, like straight up, like I didn't know you had money like that, bro. Like I didn't know, like you throwing 125 on an out.
You don't know us very well.
I don't. Listen, that's like the normal unit for like just a regular NCAA basketball game, not a 55-1
for you.
So we are absolutely riding Shane Lowry. That would be a massive.
We're fucking ransacking Lowry. All right,
Shane Lowry. I'm writing that down right now. I gotta look into his stats a little bit. I wanted to ask a little question because last time that Jeff was on the show, I made an error on my book, and I thought I was betting the tournament of that week, and I ended up betting the Masters.
Oh,
and that bet was Victor Hovland plus looks like 23-1 to win the Masters. I mean, I know he's young. He's an up and comer. I think he went from he made top 40 his first year. He was 21st his second year. Is there any way of him climbing up the ranks at his young age?
I mean, so I had him at the Arnold Palmer, and it was a nightmare watching him try to pitch around the greens on the weekend there. He is so bad around the greens that's my only concern for him this week. Now, that can be avoided as long as he's hitting greens in regulation and not leaving himself 30 yards away in the rough or in the bunker. But if that's the case and he's missing greens this week, you are going to lose years off your life trying to watch him get up and down, because right now he's just lost when it comes around chipping around the greens.
I'm just glad that Victor Hovland didn't win the Players, like the event that you thought you were placing on, because there is truly nothing worse than if that were to happen. It's almost as bad as if you bet a team first half spread and then they cover the full game spread. I know that didn't happen in the Kansas game with you last night, but you have to be you're happy that they didn't cover the full game, because there's nothing worse in sports than that, right?
Yeah. You just hit a sore spot with Kansas.
It helped the cause, though. I mean, if you're gonna lose the first half, I better lose the whole game. Like,
exactly.
I'm not putting the balls on the table, and then they come back from a 20-point deficit and they cover.
Duke was worse. Duke was worse for me, but I was hitting totals really well, so the totals kind of like it was more of a bruise on the kneecaps instead of taking out my kneecaps. So it was kind of like one hand shakes the other, but it's still like, okay, Kansas makes this big comeback. They take a lead by 6. And then all of a sudden you step on the sideline and don't get free throw shots. So
that was great for Brian. I saw Brian. He put his play out right before tip off. UNC +4, a little casual.
Yeah, I mean, I do not know anything about. Like, I bet UNC because
neither did anybody who bet UNC, so it's fine.
Why did you bet UNC?
Yeah, I bet UNC because I bet them against Duke because I hate Duke and they covered, and I'm like, okay, I'm not.
Yeah, everybody hates.
That's the thing. Okay,
what
so
have you done for me recently?
I want to talk. Like, I just want to just quickly talk a little bit of college basketball. Me and Jeff have a friend.
That's fine. Let's go.
Me and Jeff have a friend, Jers, and he handicaps college basketball all year, and he does the models and he does the fucking EVA shit and he does the matchups and shit, and he's trying to tell me that Purdue -13 against St. Pete's is a lock and it's a 3-unit play, and I'm like, and he's like, well, they don't match up well against them and they're gonna run out of steam, and I'm like, oh, did fucking St. Pete's match up well against Kentucky? No, they didn't. In the NCAA tournament, you throw all that shit out the window and you just bet on your gut, and these random teams make a run, and it's just like, who the fuck knows what's going to happen? But modeling and matchups, they don't happen in the NCAA tournament at a higher clip as I would assume they do in the regular season.
Well, I can explain Purdue and St. Peter's all day long with you. It's like St. Peter's had a better defense, and Purdue can't guard anybody for shit, and they're in the Big Ten. That's pretty much what happened, and they lost because it was a bad game for them. But anyways,
you can't. I mean, as a handicapper, if you wanted to predict yesterday, I don't think there was any capable of way of being able to predict that it'd be such a lopsided first half and then for them to come back up.
Yeah.
No. I mean,
that goes to Brian's point. It's the fucking NCAA basketball tournament.
They're playing neutral. They're playing neutral sites. Home there's no home versus away. There's a lot of.
They've been sleeping in a hotel for 2 weeks almost now.
They're just riding from city to city every weekend.
Right.
Another question that hasn't been brought up, and I wanted to bring this up because this was a guy that I thought was my dark horse on this one, and he's a guy that's been to 3 Masters tournaments. He's made the top 10 in 2 out of the last 3. He's never missed a cut.
Wait,
we
who
talk
is
about-
it? Wait, ask him who it's gonna be.
I'm bringing this up. I'm gonna quiz everybody right now. So this guy's been in 3 Masters tournaments. He's made the top 10 in 2 out of the last 3, back to back, by the way. So in his first tournament, he didn't make it. He's a cold weather guy because of where he's from. He's had 1 top 10 this year.
I know who it is.
Yeah, I know who it is. So
Okay.
Who is it?
Who is it? Just say
Corey Connors.
Corey Con. There you go. Yep.
Yeah.
What do you think of him? He's what was he plus? He's like what 55 to 1.
I know these guys
Yeah.
loved him last week.
Yeah, I had a mortgage play on him. I will not be paying my mortgage this month. Unfortunately, Corey Connors makes perfect sense. And I've talked about that. Great ball strikers that aren't great putters can contend here. He certainly fits that mold. Can a second PGA Tour victory be a Masters? I don't know, but I think he's another guy that I think a top 20 on him is a great play. I do not think he can win, but I do think he will have another good week. So I think a top 20, top 10 matchup, it would be the best way to deploy Corey Connors this week.
Yeah, I mean, he's shown he can do very well here. As far as winning, I don't know. I kind of like the number you're getting on it, and that's kind of where you got to be at. Sometimes you got to, just take a chance, and sometimes to get there. I mean, he's not the longest guy on tour, but I think he can hit it far enough off the tee where it might not affect him as much. And quite frankly, we can sit here and do this for gosh knows how long. And then JJ Spawn, who was 210 to 1 last week, goes out and wins. So, we can break down the numbers all night long, but then, something crazy like last week can happen, even though there were, several people I know that actually had back JJ.
Awesome stuff.
Good question by Guns there. All right, before we let you go, I don't know if Guns has anything left, but
I have one question left.
Okay, well,
I just want to ask if I should make.
yeah,
this
you can
bet.
ask after me.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. No, I'm kidding. You can go.
Do you want me to? I'll. It doesn't matter.
Okay, I'm gonna do a quick rapid fire round.
Wait, no. Let me do my question first. And I
Okay,
want
you can
your
go.
rapid fire
You
is
got
way
it,
better
you got
than
it.
mine. Okay,
You
so
got it, Guns.
I have a bet. I have a bet that I'm considering in this one. And you
How
talk
many
about
bets
like
are you
this.
considering, Guns?
I just gave you my mortgage plays.
I'll tell.
You're
No,
getting the
listen to
bets.
this.
You're already getting the bets.
I want to know if this is a mortgage play. Okay.
No, you already told him mortgage plays.
No, I'm
Mortgage
gonna
is
give you
already
a
out of
better
the
mortgage
game.
play. Let me
mortgage is
say
out.
the bet. So this is a prop. So it's basically it gives me the front, the big 9 is what is it called? It's a big 9 bet. So you have Rahm, Thomas, Scheffler, Smith, Johnson, Koepka, Morikawa, McIlroy, and Hovland to win the Masters. Yes is plus 108. No is minus 130. Yes or no?
I don't think it is a mortgage play, but I think it could be like a normal unit play. Like I think the winner, kind of comes from that range, and I don't see someone 30 to 50 to 1 winning. Like it's just tough. Like I really do think it will be a Top Gun. Given the fact that it's short odds, I would not throw an absurd amount of money on it, but I don't think it is a bad bet per se. That's not something I
Is it
would
2
heavily.
units?
I would say it's a 1 unit play. at
Okay.
most.
What about
Yeah.
you, Jeff?
Yeah, if you're getting plus money on it, I'd rather go that way than lay them 130 saying no. So I mean, I'm on board with that, but I don't like Brian said. I don't know if I would get greedy and hammer that one, but it's definitely something to keep you entertained on Sunday, especially when a couple of those guys are in the mix.
There's only like 2 guys I hate out of that is Rahm and McIlroy. So, but
I think those 2 definitely can win. So I think it's a unit and a half play, to be honest.
There you go.
Okay.
No, we're bumping it up.
see, that's all it takes. All right,
Guns
lock
is
that
licking his
play.
chops. Like he's not just hosting the show. He's he's asking all the bets. He
I
can
saw the
find.
plus at yes,
that?
and I was like, I mean, all those guys are nice to have. I just don't know why it's plus at yes, so I get a little bit skeptical. So, all right, Lockbats, you got some rapid fire?
All right, I got some characteristic, just some personality questions for you. We'll start with Brian. It's going to be a quick little one-word answer, and then we'll just keep it running, all right? All right, this one's for Brian. I don't think he's paying attention, just like he wasn't paying attention during his paid show. So we're going to go to Jeff. Pimento cheese sandwich or grilled cheese sandwich?
Grilled cheese sandwich.
Okay. Brian, would you rather get married on Augusta's grounds and have 100 of your closest relatives there, or play a 9-hole Twilight at Augusta by yourself?
9-hole at Augusta, easy.
No brainer, right?
I'm a bachelor like Jeff.
Yep. I agree.
All right, Jeff. Dead or alive, you got to play a foursome with 3 other guys. Who we playing with and why?
Tiger Woods, because he's my favorite golfer of all time. My dad, and then my brother Jason. There we go.
Brian,
I want that question.
What's that?
Yeah, all right.
Answer that question. Louis Oosthuizen, Shane Lowry, and Dustin Johnson.
And why?
They're just my boys.
Those are boys. Those are the
Wait, I
boys.
want to go back to Jeff. I want to ask a quick question. I was like, if you're playing around with Tiger, would you ask him about pancake house waitresses, or would you even delve down that road?
This is a children's podcast.
Absolutely not. I am just there to soak in the knowledge he can give me to where I can absolutely do nothing with it afterwards, because I won't be able to adapt and get any better.
Yeah, I'm fair. I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Block.
Brian, who would you rather be stuck in a foxhole with? Patrick Reed and Phil Mickelson, or Bryson DeChambeau and Anthony Kim?
Easy, Phil and Reed. I love Phil. I think that he's very entertaining, and we could hit it off, truly.
Wow. So confirmed, Brian is a huge fan of Phil. How do you feel about Phil? Do we want him back? What's your message to Phil? If you had your message to him and we could deliver it to him, what would it be?
Like the PGA Tour, and everyone's very hypocritical. And, he won the freaking PGA last year. Like, put some respect on his name. And he's just too funny and entertaining for him to not be on tour. So I hope he's back as soon as possible.
Absolutely. All right. Stuck on a deserted island. All right. 1 professional golfer with you, 1 beer, and 1 meal. That's all you got.
Man.
And I noticed I said professional golfer.
Yeah, because I was going to go with Brian's girl there, Paige. We'll go with I would have to say Dustin Johnson, because I've heard some stories about him in his day. So I imagine he could be a good time.
So if Dustin's coming, then there's going to be no meals then, right?
Well,
Oh,
man. Oh man! I hope he's not listening.
Brian, what about you? Oh wait, what beer and what meal? Actually, sorry, Jeff.
Oh,
can't say Bud Light. Do not say
no.
Bud Light.
Okay, I'll go with the Heineken. And honestly, what they're eating tonight at the Masters Champion Center that Hideki has put together, that looked, phenomenal.
I'll go Shane Lowry. Just kind of vibing with him recently, and I know he likes to party. And then beer, Avi Heine. I would never drink fucking Guinness. It's gross. And then meal, I would go, just a nice cheeseburger with some onions, would say.
How come nobody wants to
fried
party with
onions
John
on your
Daly? I know
rings?
John Daly's not there anymore, but I was like, why wouldn't you want to hang out with John Daly?
Well, Guns, what you know what? For this matter, what would your answer be, sir?
All right. I have one drink, one meal.
Yeah.
And okay, so John Daly, bottle of whiskey, and meal, it's surf and turf, steak and lobster.
That's solid.
Simple.
Yeah.
Locke, what are you thinking, man? You're the one that's asking all the questions. I want to hear.
You know what?
opinion.
I'm kind of on board with the Shane Lowry train. I mean, I got the Irish blood in me. I got the European skin. I think I could handle a night out with him. But you know what? Give me the Australian. Let's go. Me and Cam Smith we'll do surf and turf. That's kind of a cheap meal. Do a little surf and turf because I know he loves hanging out on his boat. So me and Cam, and he'll be great at survival on the island because he always hangs out on his boat on weekends. So he's a good fisherman. And then and then beer.
Foster's.
Yeah, I'm gonna let him choose. Listen, I'm beggars can't be choosers, and if you see my Twitter timeline, I am an absolute slut when it comes to drinking beer. So whatever comes my way, I'll take. So Cam Smith, surf and turf, and whatever he is drinking, I'm drinking. What do we think about that? Is Cam Smith? I mean, I think Cam Smith's.
I'm a little upset I didn't say Cam. He's the boy.
Yeah. I love Cam.
Yeah.
He statistically, when you actually look at the numbers and everything, like why wouldn't you at least put a little bit of pizza money on Cam to win the?
I do have a quick game. It's 5-second game. Between Brian and Jeff, this is going to be a head-to-head competition, and you guys can decide maybe a wager. I don't know. Jeff may have to put a Heineken in his profile or something, and vice versa, whatever. But the contest is predict Bryson DeChambeau's finishing position. Closest to it wins the Dad Bodds podcast crown.
I would say 257.
Oh, I'll say T34.
All right.
I love that because I took him. I got him at like minus like 120 to not make the top 40. So
yeah, very
Where'd
well.
that come from? Guns has a whole card.
I have my card. I did the research. All I need is numbers and box scores. That's all I need.
All right. Looks like we're at the top of the hour. We've taken up America's time, 1 hour and 3 minutes. Guys,
movie pod, though. Absolute movie pod.
What's that?
Movie pod.
Yeah,
like
we're
a
great.
feature film.
Yeah, we fucking rule.
It is.
But that's going to end it this week for the Dad Boss podcast. Actually, this is part 1. Part 2 is going to be the MLB with C2 40-year-old vision. So go check that out with Pun Picks and the Odds Fellow. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Brian, for joining us for the Masters preview. Good luck with your bets. Hopefully, you're going to cash some tickets with us, and we'll see you next time on the Dad Bods podcast. Till next time, peace.